Hello Zimbabwe, I hope I find you well. Today's program is a revisitation of a program that I did last time. In my last post, I said Mwari has Jehovah. When I said Mwari has Jehovah, it generated a lot of debate. So I thought it was imperative for me to revisit that topic again and try to clarify one or two things. When we say Mwari has Jehovah, I am venturing into the semantic strangulation that has always been there. The debate whether Mwari can be called Jehovah started way back in around 1890 when the first missionaries, not really the first, but the Christian era started to have roots in Zimbabwe. That is when this debate started. When the missionaries arrived from around 1888, this debate also started and took root in around 1890. So, what is this debate all about? One thing that we must be clear about is a word has got a denotative meaning and a connotative meaning. I am not debating about the denotative meaning of Mwari and Jehovah. The denotative meaning of Mwari and Jehovah is that it's just the same. They refer to God. That is the denotative meaning. But my argument is the connotative meaning of Mwari has changed through the passage of time so that it is acceptable in Christianity. Christians or Christian missionaries, when they arrived in Zimbabwe, they had a different connotative meaning of the word Mwari. The word Mwari before 1890 had a different connotative meaning. Not only before 1890, but even up to 1923, it had a different connotative meaning with the connotative meaning we have today. What are we saying if we are saying denotative meaning and connotative meaning? When we are saying denotative meaning, we are simply saying the dictionary meaning. And if we are saying the connotative meaning, we are saying that connotative meaning is determined by the perception of the object of the word. That is what is the connotative meaning. One's perception of the object of the word. And that constitutes the connotative meaning. So I'm saying when the missionaries arrived in around 1890, they disregarded the word Mwari. They did not accept the word Mwari because of its connotative meaning. And in order for us to have a clear picture of this, we trace events that happened inside the Roman Catholic Church. So you find out in 1890, I said, Father Joseph Richards wrote that, and I quote, "We found that the heathen word Mwari had no definite meaning besides rainmaker," unquote. So, why is it that in 1890, Father Joseph Richards is saying the word Mwari is a heathen word? And heathen means something that is irreligious. He is saying this word is associated with the Shona God Mwari, who is at peace with Vadzimu. Otherwise, it's just saying this Shona word Mwari is associated with Vadzimu. That is the connotative meaning of Mwari in 1890. So, in 1890, there was nothing, absolutely nothing, that would force someone to think that if you say Mwari, you are referring to Jehovah. That is a modern connotative meaning. That is today's connotative meaning, which was not there in 1890. This debate did not only end in 1890. It went up to 1923 In 1923, we see Monsignor Brown. Monsignor Brown in 1923 decreed and banned the use of the word Mwari in the Roman Catholic Church. And he wrote, and I quote, that is in 1923, although our Jesuit fathers had been in the territory for 40 years and knew the language well and had finally decided on the word to be used for God, the Marrenew fathers, without consultation with us, began to use a word which, although used by Protestantism, yet a very evil connotation. The word Mwari in 1923 is said to have an evil connotation. So, why is that Father Richard's Monsignor Brown, why is that they are saying this word has got an evil connotation? It is only because when the whites arrived in Zimbabwe, they found the Shona praying to God whom they called Mwari. But they prayed to Mwari through Vadzimu. That was the situation. So in 1890, saying Mwari, automatically you were saying something to do with Vadzimu. That was something that was obvious. And we have got evidence to support that the Shona prayed to Mwari. Mwari was a Shona God. The evidence is there. So the first evidence that I gave forward came from Karl Marx, a German. Karl Marx in 1871 wrote that, and I quote, "They," meaning the Shona, "believe in the highest being of goodness called Mwari and another evil called Ngos. The former lives Patenga, meaning heaven, while the latter lives Pasi, meaning down the earth. In case of death from old age, it is the Vadzimu who called." So Karl Marx is making it clear that the Shona believe in the highest being of goodness called Mwari. So the Mwari God, Mwari is a Shona God. That is something that is obvious. And this Shona God has always been associated with Vadzimu. That is something that must be straightforward and clear. And it is not only Karl Marx who made reference to the Shona God Mwari. We have also Bishop Ned Bruce, who said after 1888, "I have talked to them about God, and He's sending them their crops and food, and they will agree and say, He lives in heaven." So Mwari was a Shona God who lived in heaven. And up to date, for us, we still follow ancestralism. If we say Mwari, there's nothing that can make me believe that I'm talking about Jehovah. But everyone has got this sense that if you say Mwari, we are now referring to the biblical God. But I've said, and I said last time, Mwari was adopted by Christian missionaries to make it easy for them to convert the Shona people, because the Shona people were resisting to be converted to Christianity. So they had no choice but to adopt this name. And they adopted and imported this name into Christianity. And in the Bible, when they translated the Bible, wherever it was written Jehovah, they replaced that word with Mwari. So through the passage of time, everyone came to associate Mwari with the biblical God. But that was not the situation. And we have illustrated that that was not the situation. And we have said that Monsignor Brown even said this word had an evil connotation. And that was in 1923. So ancestralism has got a belief in Mwari. And I said that we have got a creation story in ancestralism, which says that Mwari came down and he created everything. Not in 6 days, not in 7 days, but over a long period of time. And when he created everything over a long period of time, it was time for him to go back to heaven. But he raised the dead, whom we call Vadzimu, so that they can look after his creation. So Mwari gave powers to Vadzimu so that they can look after the nature, they can look after men, they can look after everything. So everything on earth, we say Vadzimu, they look after those things. That's why we say they are forests that are sacred, there are mountains that are sacred, there are animals that are sacred, because Mwari gave powers to Vadzimu to look after all those things. And for Vadzimu to communicate with us, they need a medium. So we've got Mashikio, and Vadzimu will possess a medium and they will talk to men. That is what we believe in ancestralism. And we have no apology to make about that, because it's our belief. So when I argued about Mwari not being Jehovah, I was talking about the connotative meaning that is changed through the passage of time. I thank you.